Our Story Production presents The Road to Our Story, spotlighting an in-depth look at many of The Road to Our Story magazine's featured articles. So get ready, for you're about to travel on The Road to Our Story.
Hello, Ellen Seasmore here, out looking for the elusive Midwestern bobolink to put in my new book, Friends of a Feather. While that bobolink continues to elude me, I have had fun digitally capturing the pictures of small towns in the Midwest, and they're very interesting. Have a look. Located in Martin County in south central Minnesota is the town of Fairmont. Known as the City of Lakes, Fairmont is built around a chain of 5 lakes. Originally settled in 1857, Fairmont is home to over 10,000 residents. The city was originally named Fairmount for the rolling hills surrounding the adjacent lakes. The city's aquatic park provides fun and refreshment during warm weather. There are numerous cold weather activities to also keep residents active during the winter. Visit the Pioneer Museum or Heritage Acres for a look at Fairmont's historic past. Fairmont offers excellent early childhood education, public schools, and 2 faith-based schools, plus easy access to post-secondary education. Healthcare offerings include local healthcare facilities, emergency medical assistance, specialty healthcare procedures, and long-term care. Fairmont hopes you'll stop by for a visit. They believe you'll enjoy the City of Lakes.
Hello, I'm Jason Howland, and welcome to Speaking of Health, a place to help you learn how to live a longer and healthier life. Today, our focus is on women's health, and our guest is Ginny Clemenson. Ginny is a nurse practitioner with Mayo Clinic Health System who practices in obstetrics and gynecology. Ginny, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Jason.
Well, when it comes to overall women's health, let's start out with some of the biggest threats to women's health.
Well, women's health encompasses lots, but I would say the big ones are obesity, heart disease, diabetes, lack of exercise, probably lack of time in a woman's life with the busy lifestyles they have, and getting in for their preventative exams.
So, Ginny, what about heart disease? I've heard that that's the number one killer of women in this country. Well, talk a little bit more about heart disease.
It's an extremely important topic because it kills more women than breast cancer does. One woman every minute dies of heart disease. And the interesting difference between men and women is menopause. And estrogen has a protective effect on our hearts. And so most women that have heart disease or heart attacks or die from heart disease are menopausal. So their average age of menopause is 51. And so you're going to find death rates are over that. And it's because I talked about it briefly, obesity, diabetes, high cholesterol, smoking, inactivity, but the loss of our estrogen, which was protective for us.
You know, it's a great point, too, because I think the misconception out there is that, breast cancer, obviously, it is out there and it does affect many, many women. But when you think heart disease, normally you don't think that it would be the number one killer of women. So it's a misconception. It's important to talk about
Right.
that.
And I think women in particular, our symptoms of a heart attack are way different than a man's. And so we can say, oh, I have an upset stomach or I'm nauseous because I did, you can always make excuses and not get yourself into the emergency room when a man would say, has this crushing chest pain and that he knows he needs to go in. It's different for women.
So what are some common symptoms of possibly having a heart attack women?
For women, shortness of breath. The pain that you might experience could just be some upper back pain. Nausea and vomiting can happen. But, those are things that, you think, well, I ate something wrong or I lifted something wrong, and you might not recognize it as I'm having a heart attack.
So what are some of the preventive ways that women can help reduce some of the risks that are associated with some of those chronic conditions?
Right. Well, we can't do anything about the families that we were born into because there's the genetic factor, but there's modifiable risks. You can try to maintain a BMI of 25 or less, which you can do by eating healthy. Lots of fruits and vegetables, low-fat meats, whole grains, and getting at least 30 minutes of daily exercise that gets that heart rate up. So it's cardiovascularly important. Also, bone-strengthening exercises. So anything that you're using, you're lifting things. You don't have to go to a gym to do it, but just overall good exercise. Adequate sleep. I think that's a major factor for a lot of women is their sleep or lack of. 8 hours every night is really important of uninterrupted sleep. And just managing their stress. But by doing the things that I talked about above, the stress is managed pretty well.
Some other obvious things I would assume would also be if you're a smoker to stop smoking.
Yes,
And also alcohol as well.
Yep, thanks for mentioning that. Yes, stop smoking if you do smoke. Don't start smoking. I think the biggest culprit is the social smoker. She starts in college and she has one or two with friends when she goes out. Pretty soon life events happen, stress, and pretty soon she's smoking a pack a day.
Ginny, let's also talk about bone health. And, osteoporosis affects so many women out there. What's your advice when it comes to bone health?
I start my bone health in talking to my young women because they're probably the ones that are drinking a lot of soda. Soda's got a lot of phosphorus in it, and that's not good for our bones. So trying to drink less soda is good. Important to drink lots of milk. Now, I get a lot of patients that say, boy, I just can't drink any milk. I don't like it. Well, there's lots of calcium sources. Almond milk, soy milk, sardines, not a lot of people eat those, but it's very high in calcium. Yogurt is high in calcium.
Vitamin supplements too,
right? And it's important to, our bodies can only absorb 600 milligrams at a time. So when I tell women, you need 1,200 milligrams every day, don't take it at the same time every day, both of them, because they come 600 milligrams, because you're just going to waste half of it. Look at the back of your cartons of the milk, yogurt, whatever you're using for calcium in your diet. See how many milligrams of calcium that contains, and then substitute or supplement with a calcium pill.
Well, for many women, Ginny, breast health tops as the list of their health concerns. So talk a little bit about that, starting with what are the recommended screenings and also self-exams.
Yep. So screening, as far as that goes, mammograms start screening at 40. And do them yearly after that. But really important, at my GYN exams, I teach women how to do their own breast exams. It's important to do that. A lot of women say, well, no, I don't do my breast exam. I don't know I wouldn't know a lump if it hit me in the face. And I always say, well, just knowing your body is what's important, and knowing if something's different. Doing a breast exam a week after the menstrual period is probably the best time to do it.
And so if a woman finds something that's a little out of the ordinary, wasn't there before, something feels different or looks different, should she see her healthcare provider right away, or should she wait and see, or what do you recommend?
I recommend getting in right away, because it may just be nothing, and many, many times it is nothing, but it's really scary, and you don't want to wait until, wait a month to see if it goes away. I would recommend coming in right away. If I feel anything that I think, well, I'm not sure, I'm going to send her for a mammogram regardless of her age.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about human papillomavirus, or HPV. I've heard a lot about that in the news recently. What is HPV?
Well, like you said, it's a virus, and it's very common. 85 to 90% of sexually active people have had it, have been exposed, got rid of it. It's very common, and there's vaccines against it now. We can start giving those at age 12, and we can actually, the studies were done to 26. I recommend it at any age, actually, because there's any time in your life you may be exposed to that virus. It's common. The virus or the vaccine goes against 4 of the most common. 2 cause cervical cancer, 2 are against genital warts.
And so, and HPV, it doesn't have to deal with just genital warts. It's warts in general, right?
Right. Many people are surprised. A plantar wart on your foot is HPV. The warts that children can get on their fingers is HPV. But what's important to understand about those 2 particular kinds or that particular subtype, it does not affect us genitally. So if you have it on your hands, it is not going to get transferred to our genital area.
The ones that we're most concerned about are you said there's 4 or so that possibly cause or do cause cancer, right?
There's 2 that are causes cancer that the vaccine takes care of, and 2 that are genital warts. So, but there are other ones out there, but the vaccines were, the companies looked at what are the most common viruses that cause, or the types of the HPV that cause cancer, and that's how they made their vaccine.
And I would assume that your yearly exam's very important for helping prevent this, right?
Right, and we do Pap smears. We used to start them way earlier than we do now. We start at age 21, and it seems to be really effective. Younger women's immune systems are really strong, so even if you are exposed to the virus, you're probably going to get rid of it within 12 months. And so we don't start till 21. If you have normal Pap smears, we really spread it out between 2 and 3 years.
Let's talk about birth control now, and in particular, the birth control pill. You know, there's plenty of information and a lot of misinformation that's out there in regards to the pill. But let's start with the basics first. What exactly is the birth control pill, and what does it do to women's bodies?
All right. The birth control pill was developed in sometime in the 1960s. It's developed, or it's much less hormone than it was then. And basically what it does, it stops ovulation. So if you don't ovulate, you don't get pregnant. And so that's basically how it works as a contraceptive. There's non-contraceptive benefits to the oral contraception as well. And many women, young women, come to me and say, my periods are terrible, they're heavy, they're crampy, and then I have all this acne. Well, the birth control can really help that as well. So there's all the non-contraceptive benefits, some of which decreases our risk of ovarian cancer, can decrease our risk of uterine cancer as well.
We talked about possible misinformation out there as well. So true or false, does the pill cause weight gain?
Basically false. It may cause a slight amount of water weight gain, but there's probably any of us women that will have that in our menstrual cycle. So the woman that comes to me and says, you know, I won't take the pill because I gained 20 pounds when I went to college and I was on the pill. Well, there's some lifestyle issues there, college, getting away from home, not exercising maybe as much as they did, maybe drinking a little too much beer, et cetera, et cetera. It probably wasn't the pill that caused the weight gain.
Well, other than the pill, what are some other birth control options out there that are for women?
For women especially, there is the IUD. It's an intrauterine device. Works a couple different ways. It basically does nothing to ovulation, so a lot of women like that because their bodies are still doing what they quote unquote think the body should be doing. It prevents pregnancy in other ways by not allowing the sperm to get to the egg. That's how that one works. There is the vaginal ring, and it's placed in the vagina. It is estrogen and progesterone, just like the pill is. It's just put in the vagina for 3 weeks and taken out, and the week that you have it out, you have a period.
And the benefits of that versus the pill is you don't have to worry about making sure that you take the pill every day.
Daily, exactly. And I think that's where any of my patients or many women have said, well, I got pregnant when I was on the pill, but I didn't take it correctly. We have perfect use of any birth control method. And then there's usual use. So usual use is forgetting.
So what are some other birth control options?
Yeah, well, there's the shot, and that's given every 3 months. There is the patch, and that patch is put on a weekly basis. And then there's 1 week without a patch, and that's when you have a period. There's pills that are packaged 3 months at a time, or 3 months in a row, and then you only have 4 periods a year. I really can do that with just about any birth control pill on the market.
And obviously, none of those birth control options that you're talking about prevent sexually transmitted diseases, which is important. But there is one birth control device that does do that.
That is the condom.
Yes.
Yep, and that again is, of course, a birth control method in and of itself, but always having a condom on hand and not relying maybe on the man to have it. Just keep them with yourself in your purse or something. And before the act of intercourse, here, put this on. We're not doing this unless you put this on. Will protect you from many of this STDs.
So, Jenny, what if a woman misses taking the pill a couple of days straight, has intercourse, and may be worried that she may be pregnant because of that?
Right.
What are options then?
The option is over-the-counter Plan B, and it is all it is birth control pills that you take both at the same time, and in many cases it will prevent pregnancy, and all it's doing is stopping ovulation. And that, you could take that as well if you had a condom failure.
And that's taken over the counter?
Yep, and you can go in and purchase it. Actually, it just changed age-wise. It brought it down younger too, so you don't have to be 17 to buy it anymore.
Well, unfortunately, we are all out of time, but I'd like to thank you, Jenny Clementson, nurse practitioner with Mayo Clinic Health System, for joining us today on Speaking of Health. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, Jason.
Have a great day, everyone, and be healthy.
There you have it, folks. One of the favorite stories ripped from the pages of The Road to Our Story magazine. Let's have a look at another.
Hi, Prairie Ann here. You probably know me from that hit talk show, The Women of Sweet Spine County, but I'm not here to talk about me today. My fellow celebrities and I have discovered some incredible counties and towns in our neighboring communities that you're sure to want to learn about. Let's take a look.
Located in Plymouth County in northwest Iowa, Remsen was named for Dr. Remsen Smith, a pioneer Sioux City physician who became an extensive landowner in the area. Remsen was settled by mostly Luxembourg immigrants and retained their Luxembourg traditions of deep religious faith and loyal, energetic, hardworking, and fun-loving style. Each year, the Remsen Oktoberfest celebrates Remsen's heritage with fine fare of Luxembourger food and old country entertainment and celebration. Today, Remsen offers a wide variety of retail and service businesses, as well as a number of fine eateries for every taste and pocketbook. Remsen's famous Avalon Ballroom, recently inducted into the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame after being restored to its original, authentic 1950s condition, is a popular gathering spot and hosts many events in northwest Iowa. Remsen is proud of its park system, with a newly furbished swimming pool, 5 baseball and softball fields, 2 city parks, and a beautiful 9-hole course. There is room for lots of activity and fun for everybody, and Remsen puts its parks to good use every year. Residents and visitors alike agree, Remsen, Iowa is not just a town, it's a way of life.
Our Story Productions presents Cooking It Up with Betty, a saucy look at our stories. So, get ready for the one and only Betty Thompson!
Hello, welcome back to another exciting episode of Cooking It Up with Betty. And what a show we have for you today. I have a special guest. We'll be making a very tasty dish together, and we will have reports from my out in the field What's Cooking reporters. So without further ado, let's get started. Let me welcome my guest today from right here in Sweet Spine County, the one, the only, Earl Silo. Hi, Earl, welcome.
Well, hey, Betty, I'll tell you what, this is a whole lot different than Split Hoof tonight.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to have you here.
Well, I'm just glad to be here. You know, I don't do a lot of cooking on TV. Matter of fact, I've never cooked on TV before, but I never miss any of your shows.
Well, there's a first time for everything, and it's always a pleasure to have a fan on my cooking show. You know, I've written several cookbooks, and maybe we can share some notes later on while we're cooking.
What? Oh, that'd be fun. while we're cooking. So we're going to be cooking today, too?
Oh, of course we're going to be cooking. After all, this is a cooking show.
Well,
So,
okay.
you know, I was over to Split Hoof Junction, and they have a new winery over there. Would you like to try this wine?
That'd be fun. You know, I don't mean to brag, but I've done a little cooking in my day.
Oh,
Not
is
on
that-
TV, but I've done a little cooking in my
Is
day.
that right?
Oh, I make macaroni and cheese and hot dogs like no other.
Oh, yes, indeed. Okay. Well, there's an apron there if you'd like to put that on.
Yeah.
You know, my show not only tells people what to eat, but where to eat. And I have a group of reporters that go out in the field, and they, you know, look around and get reports for us.
You know, I've seen some of those reports. Those are some really nice places. And, well, you know, that Abby Appetite, she sure is kind of cute.
Yes, she is delightful. Let's go to one of those reports right now and see what's cooking in our story country, okay?
Howdy, partners. Abby Appetite here to fill you in on what's cooking in the Heartland today. You know, there's nothing I like more than good, stick-to-your-ribs, down-home cooking. You won't forget your appetite, because you're traveling with Abby Appetite. Doggies!
Leaving careers in Wisconsin and returning to Britt, Iowa in Hancock County, Merv and Gloria Lemons decided to open Heartland Diner in 2010. Merv, who left a VP job and farming, relied on Gloria's extensive expertise as a food service district leader for Quick Trip to help make the venture a success. Gloria's vision for success was simple. If you offer a good variety of food and homemade salads and desserts, the customer will always come back for more, and they have. No fast food here, folks, just good food made fresh. Merv said the couple's simple approach to keeping good employees and customer service has also helped bring in business. And Merv encourages his employees to treat the customers the way you'd want to be treated if you were a customer. Heartland's regular menu items consist of Heartland burgers, quarter-pound burgers, half-pound mega burger, hot roast beef sandwich, meatloaf, Philly beef, grilled or crispy chicken sandwich, tenderloins, shrimp, fish, and of course, their mouth-watering roasted chicken. And let me tell you, I had a very hard time deciding which entree to sample. They all looked and smelled heavenly. The Lemons also take pride in offering full meals at reasonable prices. Great food at a fair price. Who could ask for more? Heartland Diner, Britt, Iowa.
Lenny Leftover reporting what's cooking in our story country. Pizza, pizza, pizza. Select the toppings, pile on the cheese, and when all is said and done, the only leftover in sight will be I, Lenny Leftover.
Green Mill started as a soda fountain in the early 1930s at the corner of Grand and Hamlin in St. Paul, Minnesota, and has continued as a thriving neighborhood gathering place ever since. Green Mill of Fairmont's mission is to consistently serve extraordinary food and beverages with genuine service and a dash of local flavor. As one of Green Mill of Fairmont's guests recently wrote, "Whatever you may be craving can be found in Green Mill. We like to eat at the bar area. It's more of a social atmosphere. The Tower of Wings is a must for an appetizer, but they also have a great fondue and chicken nachos. The popover is a nice treat and has been at the restaurant before they were even called the Green Mill." At the heart of the success are satisfied guests and happy employees, but it all starts with the menu. Green Mill strives to create dishes that you simply can't find anywhere else. Yes, we have the classics, but we also feature dishes that are exclusive to Green Mill. But even the best recipes in the world don't cut it without the best ingredients available. Nearly all of Green Mill's dishes are made from scratch every day, providing the guests the best restaurant experience possible. Enjoy food for every taste bud at Green Mill, Fairmont, Minnesota.
Wow. You know, Betty, those look like some really great places out there. You know, I'm going to have to keep that in mind the next time that Earl steps out.
I see you're having a little trouble with that apron. You can just lay it down there. That's okay. We're getting ready to cook here.
So what are we cooking today?
Today we're making cornmeal bacon muffins. And, you know, I'm making a new cookbook. Everything has to be about corn in my new cookbook. And we have some bacon and we have some corn to go in our cornmeal muffins.
Oh, well, you know, that really sounds good. But then again, you know, anything with bacon in it has got to be good.
Yes, indeed.
Where in the world do you get all of your ideas?
Well, you know, I won the Golden Muffin Award several years ago, and this new cookbook that I'm working on is called Betty Cooks All Things Corn. All the recipes have to have something with corn in it, some type of corn, either cornmeal, cornstarch, corn, whatever. And so this one, I have cornmeal and I have corn, both. And the bacon, you can't go wrong without bacon, right? And so I have my dry ingredients in here, and to this I have my egg, my milk, and my bacon grease in here, and I just shake it up really good, and that mixes it so that it's completely mixed. Now, I'm going to have you pour that in.
Think of everything.
Just pour that right in this little hole here in the middle.
Really?
Okay?
Right in the middle there?
Right in the middle there.
Okay.
Just pour it right in there.
Just all at once?
All of it, yep. Just pour it in there.
You said so.
There we go. All right. Now you just go ahead. That's good. That's good. Now stir.
Like really get after it,
Well,
stir?
not too much, because we want to have it kind of lumpy. You know, a muffin is not to be over-mixed. Okay, now to this we're going to add the corn.
Okay.
And?
Bacon.
The bacon, the best part, right?
Oh, it's like my best friend, Cousin John, says, anything...
Throw anything away from a piggy except the squeal, you know.
Well, yeah. Well, he said, you know, the only thing better than bacon, he usually says is...
More bacon.
More bacon, that's right.
Well, I have to agree with him. Okay, now we have it mixed to make sure we get all of the dry ingredients in the bottom.
Some stuff in the corner I missed
don't mix. Yeah, okay. Well, we're finishing up here. Let's go to another What's Cooking report.
Abby Appetite reporting in. Today we're going to find out what's cooking in small town USA. Ah, the aromas. Such a delight to the senses. And remember, you're traveling with an appetite. Abby Appetite. Bon appetit.
Allison and Jason Russell have lived all over the country, but in 2006 they decided that they wanted to enjoy the relaxed lifestyle of small town USA. Allison, who has a degree in visual merchandising and business management, saw an opportunity to fill a need in Armstrong, Iowa, opened a flower shop in 2006. Fast forward 4 years, Jason and Allison, who both had experience in the food industry, decided to expand their business venture and fulfill their dream of opening their own restaurant at the junction of Highways 9 and 15 in Armstrong. Starting as a coffee shop, 915 Cafe soon revamped the menu to include full lunch and breakfast services. Then in 2012, Allison and Jason decided to house both businesses under one roof, and the 915 Cafe and Flowers was born. Today, Jason serves as the cafe cook and floral delivery man, while Allison handles floral design and waitress duties in the cafe. Talk about multitasking. I couldn't resist the aroma of their hot beef sandwiches, and believe me folks, it tasted absolutely delicious. I topped it off with a slice of cherry pie and put 915 Cafe and Flowers at the top of my must-revisit list. 915 Cafe and Flowers, Armstrong, Iowa.
Well, we have the muffins in the oven, and I see that my niece BJ has come to see us.
I brought stuff. I brought some homemade jam and some butter.
And why did you bring that?
I smelled some muffins in the oven, and I thought I could bring them over for when they were done.
Oh, well, they are almost done, and you know, I love it when you come to visit and do taste tests. That's great. Oh, I see that we have a guest here. Have you met him?
I think I might have.
Earl Silo from Split Hoof Tonight. He does Earl Steps Out.
Oh, yeah. Mom sometimes lets me stay up to watch him.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. All right. Oh, I think our muffins are about done. Let me get them out. Oh, look at there. We have muffins. Woo! Mm-hmm. Well, our muffins are done, and I will say they do smell wonderful. Now, if any of you at home would like a copy of hey, they're hot, honey. They're hot. Don't burn yourself. Don't burn yourself. If you would like a copy of the recipe, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Cooking It Up with Betty. Make sure that you say what the recipe is so you get the special. Or you can go to our website and, oh my, and get the recipe there. I think they're a hit. I want to say, Louis, this is time to go. Everybody wave bye to our whole audience. I want to thank my special guest. I want to thank my niece BJ for coming today and bringing the jam and the butter. I'm sure that they would taste good on the muffins if we ever got it on there. And thanks to you, my home viewing audience. Please come back next time for another exciting episode of Cooking It Up with Betty. Bye, everybody.